Welcome, everybody. It's the Market Sniper. Yes, we are back. We're back with you, and another day, another all-time high. Another all-time high on the shiny yellow stuff. That's right, that's gold. There's big trouble afoot. The debt markets, you believe it, it's a debt-based collapse. The man who says it's a debt-based collapse is telling you it's a debt-based collapse again and again, in case you never got it. Because repetition is true understanding. Welcome to Jason G. Welcome to Tiny Conspiracy. Not so tiny at all. Silver Johnson is in the house. Saj Kaz, welcome to you all. Okay, so what am I going to talk to you about? I'm going to talk to you about a couple of interesting things, we hope. Let's just first make sure that I'm not going to give away the family jewels. We're going to talk about gold's chart and where all the targets are. Remind you of everything on that. That should be fun. You might like to hear that. So let's go to the share screen and show you about that. Then I'm going to talk to you about what you're actually missing. What you're actually missing by not being an HVF trader in a precious metals bull market, and why the cost that is well below 3 ounces of gold, 3 little tiny ounces of gold, will in fact turn out to be very costly. So this is one of our affiliate brokers that are in our links below that we use. We use the people we put forward, everybody. Okay, you can take it as given. And we're talking about gold right here, right now. And this is your candle for a Monday morning. That, my friends, is an erectile projectile of great note. And I'm loving the look of it. Tell me if you like the look of that. That's how it looks. It's looking absolutely fab. And here's the thing. We have our targets where we will take some off. And it's probably going to go a bit beyond. And we will take up to 75, maybe even 100% off on leverage trades. And here's the big thing that's also going to be leaning into this issue of people. We've got stackers in the house. If you're a stacker, hit that like button right now. If you're making money with gold going up and you're a stacker, hit that like button right now. So I talk to the people that do the onboarding. I used to do all the onboarding. Everyone spoke to me when I was a one-man band back in 2009. Now I have to remind myself to talk to the people that are talking to the people. And one of the feedback that came was, there's a lot of stackers and they love the channel and it's awesome and they love jumping on the live streams. But, they've got the trade. It's buy gold. They don't need to be told more than once. They've got it and they're stacking and that's it. And, what more is there to do? Why do I need to be with you? Why do I need to spend money that could have been spent on gold to stack? I'd rather put it in more gold, and it's a case of what's the game? What's the game and where's the benefit? That's the big question. We have Canadians, by the way, that are leaving their country and they're stackers. We have Australians. They want to leave their country and they're stackers. And it's all about, well, what do we need from you? Thank you for, the YouTube, the entertainment. They're giving me my extra confidence and I laugh and a giggle and yay, we're buddies in the big gold surge. But what do I need for you? Why would I part with any shekels? Well, here's the reason why. Because there are unique moments that are going to happen during the course of this bull run. In fact, I did a kind of sketchy diagram. Let's go to the sketchy diagram and hit the refresh button. You are sitting here. Let's go talk about it. In fact, grab the pen. We haven't drawn on the screen in ages. You are here. Let's see. There we go. Let's get a pen drawing. And you are sitting in Canada, Australia, maybe the United Kingdom and the United States. People in the United Kingdom want to leave. We don't get as many calls from people yet in America. There's the odd ones leaving, but it's like Canada, Australia, and UK. Oh, they are like, yeah, we're getting out of Dodge. And here's where you are. You are all sitting here as gold is pumping and confirming the debt-based collapse that we warned you about. You're sitting in the Western world. That blue box right there is the Western world. And I threw some things up just for fun. I was mucking around. It's kind of like a 5-year-old school project. I don't know if you got those at school. You had to get a massive piece of cardboard and stick pictures on. You get print and you say, that was my holiday, teacher. I went to the river, I went to climb the mountain, and you'd slap, and then you'd have to do a show and tell there with your little mumphy face at the front of the class, and it was all fun and games and laughter. And you had your picture, and dad would help you write your name right, and all of that good stuff. And this is the Western world, and this is controlled demolition. It's kind of got the kink in it, like World Trade Center, that 3D, all the dust collecting. There you go. There's the World Trade Center, and it's just whoosh, whoosh, and there's all those layers. And you also happen to hear gadoosh, gadoosh. It was just it was a gas fire. It was a gas fire. That's what it was. And there you go. There's your World Trade Center. And you're in that building. You're in the building with the gas fire right now. And I'm saying, dude, over here, this is coming for you. Mr. Australia, Mr. Canada, Mr. United Kingdom, the Western world. And here's the fun of the map. This is a population map. So I just do this so that you get a little sense of proportionality. You are having, by being in the Western world, the highest standard of living anywhere in the world. And you're this. Canada, if we squeeze your country to be proportionate by population, you're this thin little yellow bit there on top of the slightly fatter boy, which we always know, Americans lying there on holiday, putting everything in tab. I owe you. Don't worry, mate. Just have another burger and 3 more beers, please. Yeah, that's America. Okay, happy days. That green bit's Mexico. Sorry, that's not really officially the West, even though kind of, NAFTA and all that. Here's Europe and the United Kingdom, this little lot. That's it. There you are, New Zealand and Australia. There you are. You're a little rounding error on the global world population. That's where you are. That's where you guys watching this are from. Almost certainly. I've got a little bit of Scandinavia. Let's just make sure we get Scandinavia in there. There we go. We've got our Finland and our Swedes and our Danes and our Norwegians in the mix there. That's it. That's you. You are somewhere there. Tell me in the comments. I love to know where you guys are from right now. While I do this population proportionality map, you're there. America's about 4.5% of the total population of the world. And it's actually probably by country the biggest blob, but if you amalgamate all of Europe, it's about the same. And what's coming for you is that picture, where the BBC lady was talking and they said, we heard that the following building will go down, and it was like, no, we haven't hit the plunger yet. Shut her up. It's standing there right behind her. No, stop that, cancel, close it, shut it down. And we've heard that another building, no, not yet. The clock, they're late. Okay, never mind. That scene. Well, that's coming for you. You're in the building and they ran a little late and you have a chance to get the hell out of Dodge. That's what you hear from me. Get out of the West. Get out of the West. But particularly America. I'm worried that not enough Americans are saying I need to get out. It's so nice. You've got so many nice things. You've got Walmart and Target and Miami and all of this good Disneyland where you can fiddle with the kiddies. All of that stuff in America. Isn't that lovely? But no, my friends, no. You need to get out. Tallest ladder falls hardest and furthest. Gold is telling you fiat and debt is failing. I retweeted something from Russia today, and they talk in that Russian translation, their fiat, their dollar debt currency. They refer to the thing as a collective, the dollar debt currency. And you know what? They're right. They're right. They're smarter than you think. It doesn't matter. You don't drown the one baby. There's people on YouTube. There's people on YouTube sitting here now that you can have a 55% crash in the debt of your country, but actually your currency can go the other way. It can become super valued. It's kind of like the two Siamese twins. You can leave them conjoined at the head, drown the one half, and the other one's going to come out super pumped. It's like, we're winning. I took his stem cells. So no, I'm bigger. We're better. We double down. We put all the good shit into the one half. Now we have one great baby, and we just give him a haircut and a little scar on the top of his head. No. Debt is fiat. Fiat is debt. You can't correct and clash all of those things without the currency. But interest rates will go up. You saw what happens. You get two kinds of interest rates up, guys. You get two kinds of interest rates up. I'm sitting here with my kids' project. I hope you all love it. You have to give me 5 stars and a pat on their head. And I get to go to the sleep mat 5 minutes before everybody else because I worked hard for you. That's right. Otherwise, my bottom lip's going to do that. Don't you love it with kids when their bottom lips go? It's like the whole emotion gets physically manifested. It's like, only 1 star. No ways. Anyway, so debt is down. In the end, fiat is down. There's people that will tell you that it will go the opposite way. You have 2 kinds of interest rate hike. Strong economy, producing a load of stuff, selling more stuff than it imports, absolutely booming and thriving. Smart people doing higher tech, higher value, higher profit margin businesses, the kind that have AI bot factories that are churning out ever smarter things with designs on chip, useful stuff, great cars, unbelievable this. Everybody wants their stuff. And their stock market is decent, but not necessarily on a cocaine high, which is bending all morals and turned into this complete freak show. But no, that currency, they increase rates because we're growing too fast. We're developing too many businesses. People are being paid too much. And at the same time, their currency is strong. Everybody wants to sell them bananas and fruit and everything else they don't provide. And they need to cool the strong economy with good fundamentals down. That's one interest rate hike that you will do. And that currency will go up, as is typical as people think. It doesn't mean all versions of interest rate hike is going to lead to currency up. You see, you get this at the peripheral. It's at the 2% on the normal curve, on the real tough ends. You know, the IQ of 45 and 145, you know, that part of the bell curve. When you're at that part of the curve, interest rates hike means people dumping your debt and getting the hell out of Dodge. That means currency down. It doesn't matter how fast interest rates hike. You can go to Venezuela at the peak of the hyperinflation, and they had interest rates of hundreds of percent, at 50%, at 30%. You can go to Turkey right now. I'd love to know. Drop in the comments, what's the current interest rate in Turkey? We must find out. And you can find out what the interest rate is for holding lira. And guess what? It doesn't mean the lira is going to pump, that you're on a high interest rate. And when it was being raised, it didn't pump the lira. Because cheat, because Weimar, because everything, because debt. Go and do the grok. Is Japan, when you list unfunded liabilities in Japan, do this for yourself. Use ChatGPT, use another AI. It's really quick. Ask yourself, please tell me, Mr. Computer All Brain from elongated muskiness, or from Google, or any of the other psychopaths. They're not going to lie to you too much about that. It's not like asking who really was behind the slave trade, for example. But you could go and do that and ask it and go add in the unfunded liabilities on Japan's economy, because I'm always told Japan's the most indebted, and add it in on the US. Go and add it in on the US. Come back and tell me, when you've added the debt of unfunded liabilities into their existing debt, divided by their GDP, what percentage is the higher? Whose nation is the most indebted by debt GDP? And guess what? It's not Japan. It's not Japan. The product in America, the primary product, was T-bill origination and dollar proliferation. They go hand in hand, and that is what has happened. So that gold move is a biggest anti-dollar move. Yes, it's also anti-euro, it's an anti-Turkish lira, it's an anti-South African rand, it's an anti-lot, but it's particularly an anti-dollar hegemony debt fiat crisis move. That gold move is the wrong kind of interest rate hike that America will have to do once they start cuts, because now they're all going to be talking about the recession. It's too obvious, too many people losing jobs. 600 CVs for a life sciences job, everybody qualified. No fisherman there who, like a window cleaner, I'd like to give it a go. How about it? You live and it's science, I like it, No, real people with real qualifiers, they're all qualified. There's 600 people for the job. That's one simple anecdote. But yet your inflation on New York boneless strip beef steak from 16 months ago to today is 45% on an annual, on a 16-month basis, and it's probably 34% annualized. just on the same blog item per pound. So you have existing inflation that is causing your cost of living to go down. You are being squeezed. This is the inverse Goldilocks that Greenspan gave you. This is the extended day. He gave you, let's not just have 12 hours of day. Let's have fun for 6 months. I'll keep the sun shining. The sun shall shine. You see, he's lisping now. The sun shall shine. The sun shall shine for 6 months. And now, my friends, it's setting. And you have 6 months of darkness. Only it's a metaphorical 6 months, because the Goldilocks that he gave you ran for decades, and globalization and decades. But in fact, there was inflation. When there wasn't price at the till inflation, which is one kind of inflation, there was money proliferation inflation, and it ran into asset classes, and you had housing boom, property boom, dot-com boom, you name it, you name it, you name it, you name it, you name it. You had lending boom, you had everything boom. The everything bubble is where you are now, and it's the everything bust part of the bubble that you are in. So as an Australian, Canadian, you have a job in the country you live in. You bank in the country you live in. Your passport is in the country you live in. And you've got a little job, and you are, let's say, every month putting a little bit away for a couple of silver or gold ounces. This is you, my friends. I'm talking about you. You are here. Some of you have a mustache. Some of you have a beard. And some of you have the beard downstairs. But anyway, whatever. That's you. And that's your little house in your home. And those are your floorboards which you're standing on. And that's your little stack of bullion. You are under one jurisdiction with your bullion. So coming back to the question, why Francis? Why HVF? Why give up 2.5 ounces to come and be part of his community? Because you are here. You're in one jurisdiction that is collapsing. The walls are going to fall in around you. You need to make sure you survive. Otherwise, that gold is no use. Okay? You need your cost of living to not go obscene, particularly in America. It's going to be the worst for cost of living because of the currency, because of the debt, because of the 26-foot ladder, not the 3, the 5, the 8, and the 14-foot ladder. You chose the biggest ladder. You had the biggest ride, guys. I'm afraid you're going to have the biggest fall. It's kind of how it goes. Now, the global south and the rest of the world, you're going to have absolute fountains of gold stacking if you could only just put the turbocharger on top. The turbocharger helps you maximize in clear-cut, long-standing bull markets where continuation is a possibility. The turbocharger is the HVF method, your PM's turbocharger with HVF method and the HVF method community. And that would see you be in this. Even though we vacillated, we said, well, we're a bit early on this trade, you would be in this long. And for that, I have to show you some screenshots. And this is what you've missed. I hate it. People get mad when you show P&Ls. They get mad. Oh, they get angry. They get mad. Ooh. I had some guy trying to call me out as a fraud. You got to get that level of margin. Dude, I'm not in Europe. I don't have to register as a European. I can use my South African ID. I have more than one passport. We got extra leverage, but I'm not using it. I don't need to use it. These are the returns that you have missed out just on one HVF. That will all be turned into bullion. I keep this a balance at about 75. Because why? Counterparty threat, brokers go down, everything goes down, you lose it. When this completes a target, the account will be drained and I will have more bullion. If you're a stacker, do you like the idea of more bullion? Put your hand up and hit the like button if it's a yes. More bullion. I'm looking at your comments coming up here. Would you like some more bullion? The gold and silver markets, the platinum markets going to the upside will provide an absolute smorgasbord of long time frame, medium time frame, and short time frame HVF method setups that will give you the entry, the stop for maximization. With the brokers that we use below, for which you will pay the exact same amount I pay for trading, which are all detailed in the list below. This is one, and it's called Tickmill. And because I have a South African passport and I can register from other places, I got a bit more leverage. I will show you that I'm only using 37 under 40 grand's leverage on it. And this one HVF so far has taken me to 226. And that I will be bringing probably what will be about a 590, 600 grand account back down to 75. I don't want to lose more than 100 grand in a contagion. So my low water mark is back to 7, and that rest of that 525,000. More bullion, please. More bullion, please. How about 10 monster boxes of platinum coins? Because I actually like platinum. You might have heard, you might have known. I think it's going to be worth more than gold. Let's have some gold bars. Let's have some coins. Let's have some silver monster boxes. I like silver. I like them all. I like them all. Swedish shop. Would you like to be in the position where you could, at the end of one macro HVF that we've been talking about for a while, we have to be patient. It's not like this every day, but it's been building and we've been long and it's kept coming. And it's kept coming and it's kept coming and it's kept coming. Let's show you the images just so that you can see the margin. There's the entries. If we do it, these are the balances earlier today, but they just kept getting higher. I had to take a second screenshot. Those are the entries you can see when we started getting long. First entry, the blue line right there. That is on an early alert. The community follows me if they choose on a non-advisory basis. I tell them what I do, and they're the first to hear. They paid for that right and privilege, and they deserve it. And I respect people that respect me. And flow and energy, which is often comes in the form of money or other things, came to me from them. So I'm here to give it back. I'm also here to give it to you. And some of you won't even hit the like button. I hate those guys that are always like, did you know that only 47% of you are subscribed to my channel? It's like, I just go, fuck off. Every time I'm watching YouTube, I just go like jump 3 minutes forward every time they do that. It's like Diary of the CEO has become an absolute nightmare. I once watched one of the things just to see what the normie land is doing. I'm just like, dude, I'm Gen X. Don't hassle me. Okay, I'm getting psychopathic. It's like, don't hassle me. People that want to subscribe know where the button is. Okay, they know where the button is. Now, piss off. You will note we don't tend to hassle you too much on that. Anyway, so back to this. You can get the entries before anyone else with the tight stops. You can be making the P&L. You could even be getting very low margin on a very sizable position. You could have $250,000 free. Now, I know some of you is going, I don't have 75,000 Francis, you're lucky, you're richer than me or whatever than that. There's much more people much richer than me, trust me. And there's much more people just as wealthy as me, and there's many people poorer than me. It's not about the number. It's about, could this work for you, show you what we do? Because people will even book a call and say, I love the program. I love YouTube. He's a great guy. He's not really. He's a very naughty boy. He's a very naughty boy. But they'll say thank you and they'll all that. But I don't need to part with whatever it is. By the way, we do payments. We've got a lot more people on payments. That's how we know there's recessions. People do payments. Hey, we do it. No problem. Doesn't cost much more. 3 months. You can come and join. 14-day money back. With no question asked. You just have to ask for it back. Done. We don't want any captives. We don't want any prisoners. I don't want to be here. They're locking me up. No, this is a community of the willing. And you could be getting these too. You could be getting these results too. A cross-broker platform. I mean, I'm only going to show you two. I don't only use two. These are the where they are at. I need euros because sometimes in Europe, I need pounds. I have one that pays me euro and pounds. We can withdraw. I've taken out twice 30 grand out of these accounts, just out of this one trade. Now, we aren't always winning. And we had to wait a long time. You know, April, when Trump decided to act like a drunk in a bar and take on all comers, he pumped gold from our last target, 2,903 grand, and he pumped it up to 3.5, like half of the next 1,000 move. So we had a little bit to work off. So we've been sitting quietly, vacillating on this thing, watching it, doing other things that also made money. How did the 75 get there? The Swiss franc, Japanese yen, the original gold move, a number of things that some of which we've told you about on YouTube, and some of which you don't get to hear because you're not there. You're not there. But the key point is, if you want more bullion faster, you're missing on the turbocharger. That is only one of the points I'm going to be making today, though. It's only one of the points I'm going to be making today. Because where is your jurisdiction, given that you're in the collapse part of the world? Where is your jurisdiction? In the Western world, where it's gone all cranky. It's gone all cranky. It's safer to be Ukraine for a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman than to be on a bus in Charleston. That's what's happening in the world. It's gone all kind of cranky out of intent. It's part of that controlled demolition. You actually are far better served to have bullion in multiple different places. In fact, in some places, if you're in Europe, you can buy without VAT on the American timeline, not America, not Canada. But the bullion is provided by an established American. I'm talking Panama here. You can have bullion in Southern Africa. You could have bullion in Cyprus. You could have bullion in Malaysia, Indonesia, other places. You can have them in a house. You can have them in non-registered vaults that aren't part of the banking cartel. You can do a lot of things. Now you have, instead of one blue box that you're sat in, wait, we got to get our pen back. Instead of one box that's actually in collapse and they are out to take your wealth away, you can have multiple boxes. You can still stay in America. You can be in Panama. You can have a bit there. You can have a bit here. You can have a bit there, have a bit in Singapore, a bit in the Middle East. Everyone wants to go into the trap of the desert Dubai dream. Yeah, until the recession really bites and all the workers leave because there's no more work. Watch it turn into a ghost town. You could even have some in Russia. Yeah, you think that's insane? How about Georgia? Georgia over there. Now, how do you feel about being this guy, Mr. Australian, who wants to leave Australia, all his gold, all his money, all his banking and his passport, all Australian, versus being Mr. Australia a year or two later, and even faster possibly, but paperwork takes a while, with banks in Georgia, banks in Panama, banks in Singapore, gold in Singapore, gold in Georgia, gold in Panama, gold in other places that are part of the global south, the BRICS, and the rest of the world. Because they have one group of people in plain sight, my friends. They have one group of people in plain sight, and it's you. If you speak English as first language, and you come from any of the nations that I mentioned, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, the European, Scandinavian, and the United States of America, basically 95% of my YouTube audience, meaning you on that screen that are busy writing a comment and saying, bow wow, you are being targeted for collapse and asset stripping first. They want your money, then they want you dead, in that order. They do want all your shit first. They want to flush it, crash it, smash it to the ground, have you starving, hungry, and selling all the family silver for pennies in the pound. And then BlackRock, you guessed it, Vanguard, State Street, Palantir will be telling you how wrecked you are and what you're saying on WhatsApp about how you feel like committing suicide and you've lost everything. And believe you me, the mental health issues that goes with sitting in a building that's collapsing, where you still happen to survive, the trauma of it. Ask why the Russians' personalities is why it is. They weren't allowed to smile. They weren't allowed to be middle class. They had to eat with their hands. Otherwise, they were bourgeoisie. The Bolshevik communists chose to absolute reap mayhem and wrath, and they were absolutely violent, absolutely brutal. They were cruel to nuns and priests to an extent I don't even dare go into the details, but involving orifices and hot coals. They broke all the bells. They destroyed all the places of worship. They undermined the culture. They put state before family. They have inverted, perverted your system in the West, and they are doing it right now to you. This is a boiled frog situation, and you are saying, it's kind of hot in here, but I'm getting a little bit used to it. And I'm saying, get out of the pot. Because if you think that's hot, you ain't seen nothing yet, my boy. You're gonna be on a French plate being chewed by a Moroccan soon as part of a delicatessen. That's right. That's what's coming. So you're sitting in one job, one country, one nation that's getting destroyed. What do you think your employment prospects are going to be looking like? What do you think? If you don't become a globalized, a worldwide citizen with multiple citizenships, not citizenships, even right of residency is even enough, and the ability to have wealth spread in different physical jurisdictions in a safe manner using partners such as us outside of the Western world economics, which is the English language speaking world and Europe, basically. That's it. You need your assets and your survival outside of that zone. You could have, with the gift of the turbochargers, way more gold, way more pallets, I tell you, to the ceiling. And in different places, a gold pallet here, a gold pallet there, a gold pallet here, everywhere. And you could be part of a community that all also have gold pallets there. So if we need to hire a plane, one of them is, by the way, on an airfield in a free trade zone, which is not actually part of the country that it's in, that has its own police force. That's how secure it is. They have a zombie apocalypse plan. You can even, there's planes and boats that will fly your stuff out in the event of, if it was Armageddon ever needed. You need to think out of the box. This is far bigger. You're stuck. You're leaving Australia. How do you think you're going to take your gold and silver with you? Oh, I'll just go on holiday and I'll start working somewhere else and I'll start making a hustle there and I'll open a bank account. What happens to your precious metals? Who do you sell it to? A community member that's staying is one thing, or a swap, and we get you funds so that you can buy back the same inventory at a different place outside of the Western Hemisphere. For those stackers that sit and say, love the channel, love the fundamentals of gold, but I don't need to give up 2.5 ounces. By the way, there can be less. We have self-studies, we have payments. It can be spread out. All of that exists. And you're watching an all-time high right now being hit on an absolute moonshoot of gold. Let's go check that chart and leave my kids' project done to a 5-year-old's kind of standard. There is milk and honey in them hills. I like that image, by the way. You can have it rain down on you. Let's go back to the TG pink. It's a bit gruesome with the black. There you go. We go back to the pink. It's milk and honey land, but you have to have the courage. You're not leaving America. You can go back anytime. You were born there. You speak American. You speak Australian. You speak New Zealander. You speak Canuck. You can go there anytime on a holiday. Time to start building your profile for surviving this process. Time to have diversified asset base in the God-given money of all millennia. That is precious metals, specifically gold, but also silver and platinum to lesser degrees. Those are your options. That is why you do it. And instead of having 100, we say, why not have a 10x on that with the turbocharge system? We've already taken. We gave you on this YouTube channel, but we were in first and you could have missed it. And those that have spent are far more keen than those that aren't. At the 2011 mark, once, twice, 3 times a lady. You remember the man said that on that megaphone? We will show you that again on the chart. That was one we took. It ran and ran. That was a 50% move. It's a bigger move than the one you're experiencing now from 3,400 to 3,768. That's our takeoff point to a 75% level. I'm giving it to you for free. Hit the like button if you want to hear a target for free. Free, $3,768. I will be reducing. You know my sell. In fact, you saw it. I showed you on the platform. There it was. It's all set and forget. I can work on my 5-year-old kid project and not have to worry about the markets. It's in. The stop's in. The entry's in. I don't even have to be there when the entry happens. It happens when I'm sleeping. You could be doing that and then taking half a bar of extra gold. There you go. Let's have it. Run that account back down to 75. I've got more than enough margin on it. Let's do it again. Let's have 150,000 euros out of this trade. On that, I've already withdrawn 30 of it. It's very safe. Those counts are margined to there's more margin than there's needed. I should be 3 times more. But it's not about the size. It's the move that makes you the money. It's not about getting greedy. It's not about getting greedy. Add all of that up. You're going to get close to, easy $750,000 back in precious metals in a single HVF trade that took from April to today. And there were smaller ones that had a bigger target. From 2000 and 52,100 to 3,000. Now do that one in percentages. It was almost a 50% move. A 50% move. This run from 3.4 to 3.8, that's a $400 on about 3,400. It's about 12-15% move. How many more 12-15% moves do you want to miss? That could mean $750,000, maybe tapping on the door of $1 million. I've got the same trade on, guys, on every one of those affiliate links. I don't need to show you them all. It's a security risk for me. But guess what? There's nothing here. It's all safely put away elsewhere. Everybody knows about targeting. Be humble, look humble. You should see my car drive most of the time. It's so ordinary. It is a 4x4 with a big ass stinky diesel engine. I will tell you that. I drive right onto the beach if I want to, when I want to. We'll be releasing tomorrow a nudie. I'd walked the cliff edge by the nudie beach and did a walk and talk because my battery was flat on my bike. I wanted to do a ride along vid, and there you go. There's 3 batteries on that bike. One on the bike, and then one to do the seat pole, and then one to do the gears, and those 2 pesky little ones, they were working fine when I parked it. I went to go ride, and helmets off, gloves off, everything off. Now I've got to find the charger. So as you can imagine, in the end, it was a walkabout. I took you for a walkabout in the end. Watch out for that video. That'll be released tomorrow. Let's go have a look at the gold chart. How's it doing? Imagine how you feel. You don't even have to watch it. You just have to be in the key trades. Look at that draw. Now, when you first thought we were saying it was going to make 3.8, many people might have doubted us. You know, entering down here, stops over here that are all now here. Those stops are all here now. Now I should technically have them back down here, but no, this thing moved that hard, that fast. By the time it's at that second interim, God forbid, nearly an asteroid hit, I would lock in a bit sooner. It's not a lock-in, but it kind of is a lock-in because those are the entries. But it's going here on balance of probabilities. The probabilities are now so strongly in our favor that most people can see it. But they weren't seeing it then at that point in time. They weren't talking about it then. They were saying, when Powell cut? You've got the most well-informed garbage traders in the world. They've read everything. They can tell you about all of this, and Powell, and this one on the board is anti-Powell, and that one's a dove, and this one is this, and there's a shortage of treasuries, and there's, look how the bonds got bid on the non-farm number. Yeah, I told you so. They say there's no market for treasuries. Did you see that? The yield went down on the 10-year a little bit. Did you see that moment straight after the non-farm payroll? Did you see that? Yeah, they told you that there's no market for treasuries. And I'm like, a little bit of manipulation, a little bit of this, a little bit of treasury buying, and go and have a look at the 5-year chart in terms of that yield. 0.39 down here, and you're up at 4.8. Okay, so there's one trend there, and it's up. Macro, long-term, it's up. Same as the gold chart. I don't care what happens in September, rate cut, 25, 50 basis points, whatever. They're now deciding to focus on the recession. They dropped those rates to try refinance some stuff. Let me tell you, gold's going to rip harder, and you're going to be missing upside HVF trades that are going to generate cash. This isn't a trade for a week, and I say, you might get one more, and then it's going to be probably done. This has just started, guys. This has just started. How big was the debt markets? Hundreds of trillions. For me, the geometry of that being properly deflated down, and who knows whether it's near zero, actual zero, or they can survive and it's considered right-sized if it gets down just to a couple of trillion instead of 100 trillion. However much that goes down, the other reserve asset has to go up because it's like heat and energy. You don't kill energy. You convert it into heat and it dissipates in the air. You have a fast car, you hit the brakes, they pinch the steel, the friction slows you down, it creates heat. You're warming up the climate. You never kill it. It moves from heat back into energy, energy into heat. That's why we have solar panels, etc., etc. It's the same with the natural geometry of life. For that bond market to go down, there has to be selling in an absence of buying. And that money has to go somewhere else because they don't want to hold it in the associated Siamese twin dollar. That's why we are. And gold miners are going to be in a purple patch. You're missing on gold mining trades and our targets and our triggering events, our interim levels, all the update. Gold miners will hit a purple patch. You know why? Because there's inflation and a recession. That's called stagflation. And in fact, we're in the most extreme version. I went for hyper-stagflation. So the inflation pumps the top line of the miners. Gold price up and away. Woohoo! You can now sell your product for twice. It keeps going up. You can sell it for more. No, sell it for more. Whoops, the market's just moved. Sell your product for more. Oh my goodness. And your costs are in a recession. Oil is wrecked as one of the commodities. It was short. It's staying down. The consumers are wrecked. They've not got jobs. You've not got wage price inflation. If you're hiring, they're sending 600 CVs for a single post in the city. You will take jobs. You won't have to push wages up, and you're in an inflationary environment. Your costs are in a recession, and your top line, your bottom line's in a recession in terms of cost. Great news. Your top line is in an absolute moon cycle. That's probably a 400-500, half a millennia event. We've got credit-based, synchronized, globalized collapse. Never happened in economic history before. It'll take probably another 500 years, maybe a millennia, that you've got a wholesale collapse that everybody has to hold something they know will still exist and won't have been chipped, won't have been dinked, won't have rusted, won't have gone off, is rare, is scarce, requires massive energy to recoup. You will still hold 100% of that after whatever shit goes down. And I can't tell you that on counterparty risks. I can't tell you that on any of those brokers on the affiliate links. I can't tell you anything with the scale of what might come. And you keep draining those accounts to an acceptable level, that would be your loss. And you keep stacking the yellow, the silver, and the platinum stuff, the shiny, unique stuff. That is your game. And you trade every HVF up to the upside and understand what you're doing by first learning and being synchronized so that we are homogeneous society. You see, I don't think diversity is strength. I'm controversial. I think it's an annoying and a nightmare to lead, diversity. We all get brainwashed. You get brainwashed to become an HVF trader. You get to watch videos about technical analysis that says, this is how we do it. And everybody realizes and bows to the method, including me. And I have to acknowledge when I've failed to do so. And we bow to one king, which is the method, which is dispassionate and unemotional. And we recognize our sins and we recognize our imperfect operation, and still we make money because we're in the biggest bull market, trading the best method in something that consistently goes up, and we're making an absolute 10x turbocharged over the investor hodl stackers, and we're turning into immense stackers faster than them at about 10 times the rate. And that, my friend, stacker friend, is what you're missing, because you have one country, one passport, one bank account, maybe three, and one place where you've stacked gold, and it's the worst place. Because if you're watching this channel, unless you Miguel from Peru, which is 4% of our YouTube audience, you're in the wrong place. And actually, all the other places that you're not in are the places you should be in, and not permanently in. You're going to become light of foot. You're going to be nimble. Airbnb is your friend. Good eating, lower costs, more stable. You're going to go to great places. They're different. They're not perfect. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not ever going to tell you that. But you're going to have gold in more places with real foundations, trusts, other things that you can hold them in. Or you can just start simple and it can be in your name because it's small. You can start on Bullion Vault and start averaging costing. But this, my friends, is a trend that nobody is talking about. If you want to count green candles with me, since this break, one started moving up. Since I jumped in, I had one spinning top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not a red. It's not a green. 10, 11. One tiny one. I don't even know what day that was. Was that Friday? So we had 11 and then one tiny red candle, 12. Do you want 12 green candles virtually in a row? with one tiny red one where it stopped to take a small pina colada and a drag on its cigarello. That's what you're getting. Big, fast moving upside breakouts. And this is the trend to do it. It is the best environment to be doing continuation trading, to add to and to make, if you understand the concept that precious metals is probably the best trade. Oh, by the way, Tether's buying gold and gold mines. But I thought Bitcoin was pristine. Michael Saylor, pristine, superior, collateral. Why are you buying gold then, mate? Why are you buying gold miners? Oh, we want a bit of that action. We kind of sort of looked at the economics and we thought, yeah, we want a bit of that action. Oh, really? But what about the Bitcoin action? What about Bitcoin miners? What about that? Well, no. Suddenly there's diversity. The guy that said, how many chairs are you sitting on? And I'm like going, oh, so you've just debunked portfolio theory because I sit on one fucking chair, you bloody clown. There we go. Who didn't know? How many microphones you using? Do you remember that? I had to do that one. I'm actually only using one mic. Well, why didn't you diversify? You should be all in Bitcoin. Only Bitcoin. Everything else is a lost opportunity. Tether's buying gold and gold miners. How about that? Isn't that fascinating? Isn't it absolutely fascinating? He wants a second chair and another microphone. But Mikey, you got the winner right there, man. Why are you wasting the growth? No, a little bit of gold. Well, it's not, to be fair, it's not Saylor's Tether. They're different places, but his team Bitcoin and team crypto, sure seem to have differences of opinion that are worth pointing out. So gold is it. Gold is the king. Silver will be it. But remember this. Gold has been dominating. That's a little bit of what I warned about. We haven't made a new high in the gold-silver ratio, but people will turn too soon. How many times have you heard that man say that thing? You will turn too soon. Gold-silver ratio is working its way a little bit up. And in the debt-based real chronic moments, it's gold that actually signs. That's it. Silver's not doing badly. Gold's only a little pippy up against silver. So let's go have a look at silver. Oh, yeah, let's do it. Who wants to see silver? What are we trading at today? So, 41.32. So we got out at 41.27. We missed that pullback over there with half our trade, and we're still holding the rest. That's why I got to bank a bit more margin, take a bit of profit off. We wait for the next HVF on silver. So by the way, it's not just gold you'll get HVFs. This was a smaller time frame one on silver. We showed it to you. We gave it to you. We did. It's true. I told you all about it. Read all about it. I said, read all about it on my YouTube channel. If you value someone who comes on and tells you read all about it on the YouTube channel before it happens, then you should hit the button and recognize that you're one of the 42% that hasn't subscribed. Oh, I hate that. I just hate that. Oh, dear. Come on, give me my draw tool. I want to show the people something. We're having too much fun, and Interwebium, or I should say, I never use Silver properly, TradingView properly. I'm now only using the one browser, and it's still giving me grief. Okay, so let's see that draw. There you go. So if you had sold 50% there, you're still just about there now at 4.31, and you just missed out a bit of churn. But let me tell you, gold continues with its run to 3,768. This is not going to be the high for silver. Silver then could get its pants on, its running shoes on, and then have a streak up to. But be warned. So here's the big message again. So gold stackers, you now know what you're missing out. You lack jurisdiction, you lack diversity of location, and you could have 10 times more. How do those things sound to you? Yeah, they should sound pretty good. So what we want to show you is on the big picture on silver, and we'll go back to log scale. So the chart's jumping around a bit there. There we go. So the key thing just to remember, and I'm going to give you this one for free, but we'll be managing it in detail with the community, with the updates, by voice, by seeing me like you see me now, by video, which we put through on our Vimeo and goes into our community updates. by links, by voice messages, by chart shares, by everything. And not just me, our top guns, the gents that have shown great proficiency in HVF traders. We promote, we are egalitarian society. The talented, the hardworking, and the focused that show up in webinars and grow and post great setups. They show us who they are, and we go, he's a good one. Lift him up, lift him up, lift him up. Give him authority, help him play, and he gets benefits. He gets benefits. Friends with benefits. Not those kind of benefits. But anyway, he gets benefits. That's right. So, in fact, I'll be meeting a few of them, and some of them will be staying in one of my homes. A few of them, actually. One from Hong Kong, one from Florida, one from South Africa. They'll be spending time in one of my houses, and we'll go and we'll talk and we'll drink wine and we'll shoot the breeze and plan our next attack of HVFs on the next upside. So let's talk about this. This did make a target, but now it's been dragged up. There was another level here at 44.9, but here's the big message I want to give you, and I'm giving it for free. There was rejection, and I need a third touch here, and then I suspect some rejection. That could be something big in the markets. It could not, but you could have a dip, and I think you're going to get a cup and a handle, with the handle having, which is actually a big cup, having its own handle, if that makes sense. So you're going to have a 3 base fractal, and that this break will be the one for the ages that will take you to $330 on our HVF and $596 on this mega flag, by the way. Some crazy ass numbers. I've seen some AIs have started putting clickbait headlines saying, Francis Hunt says $596 by September. I'm like, ooh, not quite. No, sorry. Be nice though. It would be nice. But not quite. I don't know quite how they do that. They grab snippets from other videos and then they go and write utter bollocks, basically. Utter bollocks. But never mind. They've got the number right, at least. The end number. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Silver is the streaker of the day. Tiny Conspiracy says he's managed to generally stream okay. I know this is like a C-level performance for most people. It's like my A+. It's like, yeah, I actually showed the screen every single time. I looked at the other one to make sure I was doing what I thought I was doing. Yeah, thanks, mate. Thank you. Yeah, still love him. That's all right. Go. A whole harem. Yes, a whole harem. A harem. Now, they'll take payments in gold. Park profits in gold. Exactly. The message is actually quite simple. There are opportunities to double down in a safe way with stop losses. So you need some fiat that isn't in gold. It needs to be on risk in a counterparty environment where any broker and a banking system is. By the way, that's why we have SimpleFX. I can trade crypto and then I can pivot quickly to go back to gold. You can use USDT. You can do that. That's very useful. Click the SimpleFX link as well to do it like me. I jump around. It's awesome. So it's kind of like a cross-platform. We've also got BTCC, recently new. This is the first time I'm announcing it. It's in the links below. Amazing. You can do a no KYC up to a certain size of withdrawal a day, 10K. Yes, that one. I've forgotten to tell you about that one. Well, it's the first time probably today because we got our community on. We let our self-studies know about it, and we've been slowly rolling it out. It is working great. BTCC. Also, that allows you to be around quite broad. Precious metals, FX, handful of commodities, and of course crypto. So you can have a multi-platform. But at the moment, gold is my trade. Yes, on a different platform, I have a BTC long. It's starting to stir. Ethereum kind of very flat as a pancake, but we think it will stir. But this is what we want to talk about right now. This is what we want to talk about. And you get all those ideas when you show up at the live trading day, which is for the community, but we invite other people in to see the kind of things we talk and how it goes. And you can see what we said. We also said XLM and XRP will be soon to pop up. And they both popped up on Monday, bang on schedule. You can go have a look. You can go buy the recording. You can buy last week's viewing and see the recording. You'll have a month's access to it. It's there. It's all there. Okay. What questions do you have for me before I sign it off? Someone was thinking PaxG. Yes, I've had it for a bit when I don't like the crypto market generally, and I think it's going to sell off. I prefer in this time to be in PaxG, so I have now used it once or twice. Fiat debt slaves are crying online about how they're going broke. Yeah, you're living in the fiat realm, he says. Jack Lyons, Francis, is dual Irish citizenship useful? It's always good to be an Irishman and American that doesn't want to live in Ireland, but does the citizenship have benefits beyond that? Have the Irish, it's a very good passport, Ireland, very good passport. Very, very good. Definitely get your passport if you don't already. Yeah, listen, Tether got the SEC off their back by buying treasury. So someone's just saying they've stopped buying Bitcoin and started buying gold, and gold miners is deep water. Thank you for your comment, and you're right. That's what I'm reading too. And the interesting fact is, it literally, when you watch the cliff edge, nudie beach, peeping Tom Francis talk to you on my walk and talk, which will go out tomorrow, by the way, on this channel. Don't forget. And believe it or not, we're actually on 91,500. I actually think that moment might eventually come. I'm starting to think it might actually happen. It was like the brass ring that never really mattered and was never coming. We're at 91.5. We only need 8.5. I'm going to be that guy. Oh, tell your friends. Do you know you're not subscribed? Anyway, so what I was saying about that comment that was around BTC. Stop buying BTC and, well, treasuries, you see. So Tether's looking here. On 2020, I made this comment. It's still on my Twitter feed. I have to go back and troll back. It's a long time ago. As the debt markets turned, and we were making that debt market turn, Bitfinex got the SEC off its back, and the USD Tether thing came to an agreement, and they agreed that they will now start buying treasuries. That's the mafia keeping the Ponzi going right there. And suddenly, all the pressure on Tether stopped. Now it's no longer a problem. Now it's all good. Now it's all apple pie and roses. That's fascinating, really fascinating. And then I said, that's brilliant. They're absolutely useless hedge fund managers. They've literally bought the top of a 40-year bull market, and they're doubling down. Now, those treasuries lost 55%. If they bought 30-year long-end debt treasuries, which I expect they are even 10 years, they've lost an absolute fortune on them. They bought 10 years, they must be about down 30, 35, 40%. We'd have to see. I can't give you an exact number on that. But they literally, the minute they handed their money over, the guy cut it by either 40%, 50%, or 35%. Done. You've lost that. You're actually short. You need to put more money in. It's like, imagine we bought gold. Imagine instead of keeping the treasury. So they do enough and they hold treasuries. But actually, right now, what do you think anybody who doesn't want to be caught bankrupt? They don't have any of their stuff audited, by the way. There's no audit for it. Imagine being a big private company alleging to be backing for a money and there's no audit. It's almost like somebody, a nation, holding a whole bunch of gold they claim to have that doesn't order it. It's as bad as that, isn't it? Hold on. Yeah, it is bad. It should be called Fort Cox, I think. Anyway, so they're now buying gold and miners. They don't just want the gold. They want some. We need some serious alpha here, you know. Remember, the miners is going to be a bit of a multiplier. We need some serious alpha here. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Tether, the crypto, the foundational spine, the onboard of the old world to the new world, wants ye old yalla and men that dig holes in the ground. Doesn't sound too digital to me. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I hope silver rips, says LFA. Do you like the silver? We like the silver. But I'm talking about moving BTC. So great to have you guys on. I don't want to talk forever. I'm going to have a sip of me old water. I'm going to say, God bless you. You now have the reasons why. Don't be one man in one country with one passport and one nation's bank accounts, especially when it's a targeted nation for destruction and asset stripping, where they will do everything else to make you poor, that you become a forced seller and hike your cost of living while taxing the bejesus into you to crush that part of the planet. Going back to my 5-year-old's project, my summer project from the 5-year-old's summer recess. Yes, don't be that guy. You can be the guy that has a right to reside anywhere. You know, when COVID came, I had 5 places I could go. I could say, I want to go home. And I could show different pieces of paper for reasons why they had to allow me to the airport and allow me a flight out. And I had precious metals in every one of those locations, but not on me, not in my house. I keep small, showy samples. This is real money, guys. I love this silver bar. I have to keep this one. It's this cardboard's getting all mothy now. You can probably see it's getting all frothy. I suppose if you found out where I was, you'd find this one brick. And it's the same brick I always show. But in some place else that you wouldn't be able to get to, there is more. This is real hard. It shines. It's got a condom on to stop sweaty little fingers from spoiling it. It's got the old nag that sold her soul to the banking cartel right there. There. That's right. That is a beautiful piece of money. You could throw this and it's breaking the window. Let me tell you, it's got that chunky, nice. It's got that clunker man on the head. Clunker guy on a bus who's pulling out a knife to stab a defenseless woman sitting in front of him. You could put him out with one swing, I tells you. Now, you know what's going down in your world. You know what to do. Go get your links. Go book a call and start maxing the bull run that could set you up for the rest of your life. It could, if you're already pretty well set up your kids, your grandkids, and your great-grandkids up. And you'll have to teach them. Never sell the gold. It's your collateral to this world. That's what you'll have to do. Oh, I lost my certificate as well. Certificate with bar number and everything. It all comes together. It's time you started stacking a whole bunch of these. Let's get you to the top. Let's have great days of trading together. Let's enjoy it. A brotherhood of like-minded, determined not to be destroyed by the centralist planners that are controlled demolitioning your home nation. You can go and visit anytime. You can go pick up the ashes. You can be a beachhead for your other family members that are staying behind. You can become the most valuable, useful person that took action at the most important point in economic history, for which there is no known parallel in any history that I have read. This is the biggest, largest trend you will see of debt-based destruction. It is the biggest hegemon destruction event in a hostile hegemon environment, unlike the previous hegemon. Everything I tell you, I have thought about many, many times over. I have read, I've sought to disprove as someone who is of scientific nature, by family, by thought, and in every way. Where are we wrong with all our hypotheses? And I can tell you, I keep coming back to the same place, that we are right. The market keeps telling me we are right. And now you need to hear me when I say we are right. On balance of probabilities, it's highly likely we are right. You cannot stay as one man, one bullion collection in one country with one card and one bank account and one passport. You do need to, A, grow the stack a whole bunch, go strap on the twin turbo I've just shown you here, and get that table a little bit heavier and have some of it in different places, in different structures across the world. And that will preserve you from the Bolsheviks' planned attack vector on the West, which will be destructive. It will have all sorts of social repercussions. We're all going to need, including me, mental health habits to just get over the destruction we're likely to witness that will go down as a result of this financial crash. The social, the everything. There could be civil wars, martial law, you name it. It's not pretty. I dread it. I suffer sometimes from excessive cortisol with the power of imagination to see what's actually coming. I wish I didn't know. I'm physically damage my body if I think about it too much. You have to do cold plunge. You have to not focus on that so much. And you just have to get out there and be the Baptist and tell everyone. Tell everyone what's coming. You're Noah, you're John the Baptist, and we are that, and we have the mechanism to help you grow even faster without absurd risk, with real stops and size losses, utilizing HVF method throughout this bull market where the only trade we take is long. We never doubt the trend. The only trade we take is broadly going to be long in leverage, and you will hold and you will hold and you'll make targets. You'll take some off and you will turn it into the fiat in your broker account, into more bullion in different locations, and you will have rights of residency. This requires work it's better to start now. It's better to have 2 residencies by the time this happens than the one you have. It's better to have a third later in the second year than the one you have. It's better to have gold in 3 places in different borders than just the one place you have. I'm sure you get it. I'm hammering it home, but this is what I want for all of you, for your survival, and for recognizing that I laid down this road and pathway with my amazing team, that you cannot have to build the road, you can just drive your car down it. We built the road, and there's a small cost for that, and it's under 3 ounces of XAU, and you should aim to make 10, 20, 100 times more of that as a result of that investment, and be more secure, more safe, more jurisdictions, more optionality, lockdowns, everything else that might come, climate crisis, whatever, more options, more arbitrage, more likelihood that some of your plans are still standing when they're done shaking the table. That's the facts. That's the reason why. That's the question I wanted to answer today. Why, as a gold stacker, you need HVF method in our community. I salute you all. Have a great evening. Thanks for sharing another all-time high with the Market Sniper. Bye for now.